Cultural and domestic sphere, caste has proved to be strongest. Endogamy, or the practice of marrying within the caste, remained largely unaffected by modernization and change. Even today, the marriages take place in caste boundaries. Although there are more intercaste marriages, while some boundaries would have become more flexible or porous, the borders between groups of castes of similar socio-economic status are still heavily patrolled. The intercaste marriage between upper castes like Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishya are prevalent now, but intercaste marriage between upper castes and scheduled castes are yet rare even today. Even food sharing has been changed in accordance to the marriage. So, in the present days, endogamy is yet practiced in the modern Indian society. Even today, marriages take place in caste boundaries. A upper caste will marry in the upper caste, or the upper caste. In the upper caste there are three castes: Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishya. So a Brahmin will marry in a Brahmin family, Kshatriya in a Kshatriya family, Vaishya in a Vaishya family. These upper castes will never marry a scheduled caste or a Shudra. Nowadays there are changes. Some changes are taking place. Some intercaste marriages are also being heard about, but they are being done, but after a lot of social tensions. In independent India, democratic politics has been deeply conditioned by caste. Its functioning has become more and more complex and hard to predict. It cannot be denied that caste remained central to electoral politics. Since the 1980s, the emergence of explicitly caste-based political parties have started. In the political scenario, the caste system plays a very important role. In 1980 onwards, a political change is being observed where the caste-based political parties have started contesting the elections. In the early general elections, it seemed as though caste solidarities were decisive in winning elections. But the situation soon got complicated as parties competed with each other in utilizing the same kind of caste calculus. M.N. Srinivas, who is said to be the first, or say the person who gave his sociologistic thoughts in his book Religion and Society in Cooks of South India, used the term of Sanskritization for the very first time. In his study of the Cooks of Karnataka region, he found that the lower castes have adopted the customs and values of Brahmins in order to improve their position in the caste hierarchy. In Karnataka, the Cooks, they are the lower caste people, and they have adopted all those values and customs of the upper caste, that is the Brahmins, so that they may improve their position in the caste hierarchy. According to M.N. Srinivas, Sanskritization is a process by which a low Hindu caste or tribal or other group changes its customs, rituals, ideology and way of life in the direction of a high, frequently twice born caste. So, Sanskritization, according to M.N. Srinivas, is a process where a lower caste person tries to imitate the custom, rituals, ideology and way of life of the upper caste. The system is a rigid system in which the position of each component caste is fixed for all time. This caste system, it is rigid, and the position of each strata based on caste is fixed. Movement has always been possible, and especially so in the middle regions of the hierarchy. The middle regions, that is the Kshatriyas and the Vaishya, there are lots of movement. Movement means they are closely interrelated to each other and they try to mix up. Also, caste is able in a generation or two to rise to a higher position in the hierarchy by adopting vegetarianism, teetotalism, and by Sanskritizing its ritual pantheon. It's short, it took over as far as possible the customs, rites and beliefs of the Brahmins, and the adoption of the Brahmanic way of life by a low caste seems to have been frequent. In the modern time, the lower caste tries to imitate the upper caste, that is the Brahmins. The topmost caste in the hierarchy of the caste system, they try to imitate it. And all the Brahmanic way of life by a low caste seems to have been frequent, though theoretically forbidden. To denote the process of mobility, Srinivas used the term Brahmanization. And because of this practice, he coined it as a term Brahmanization. Later on, he replaced it by Sanskritization, and then it was replaced as Sanskritization, since it is much broader concept than Brahmanization. There are three basic elements in Sanskritization. They are: number one, imitation. The lower caste imitate the custom, values and behavior pattern of the upper caste. That I have already told. Second, closeness. The lower caste, through Sanskritization, come nearer to the upper caste because they start interacting with them. There is such change in the social relations among various castes. Third, social mobilities. Generally, Sanskritization helped the lower caste to move up in the social ladder. They share the status of the upper caste because of good jobs, because of better salaries. They try to reach the status. They try to share the status of the upper caste. Sanskritization is the process of cultural and social mobility. During this period of relative openness of the Hindu social system, it is an indigenous source of social change. So Sanskritization is said to be a social change because in this process the cultural and social mobility takes place. Sanskritization is not only the adoption of new customs and habits but also exposure of new ideas and values, which have found frequent expression in the vast body of Sanskrit literature. By the process of Sanskritization, the Sanskrit literature, which is the ancient literature, whatever is being mentioned in the Sanskrit literature, that is, those ideas and values are adopted by the lower caste, sacred as well as secular, to show themselves to be sacred and secular. Karma, dharma, pap, maya, sanskar and moksha are examples of some of the most common Sanskritized words which occur frequently in talks. Thus, a distinction between two aspects can be drawn. Sensitization is the process of cultural and social mobility during the periods of relative openness of the Hindu social system. Because of sensitization, the Hindu social system has opened itself. The system which was previously closed system, that is your caste system, it has opened. It is an endogamous source of social change. Sensitization is also a culturally specific case of the universal motivation towards anticipatory socialization, and it leads to anticipatory socialization.